Well, episode 8 of Picard season 3. Only 2 to go. And still, the 4th episode was the best. There's moments here and there. There's some rather powerful back and forth with the likes of with Ensign Rowe coming, or Commander Rowe, she was in that episode. The last episode was pretty weak. And there's clumsy, stupid stuff in it as they trudge along up and down the same hallways. That's all they got. Still, the spaceship scenes are very good, of them floating around in clouds and stuff, but that's about all you get. So what's left is, what's this thing about Jack Crusher? And you don't really get any answer here, but it has something to do with Picard's aeronomic or aromatic, I can't remember what the name of his disease was that they discovered all the way back in All Good Things and that sort of thing. And Vadic seemed to suggest it was not what Picard thought it was, or something like that, and did one of them infect him with something, and as a result he passed on something to his son that turned him into this, I don't know, being or what have you. He doesn't present any changeling abilities. He presents his like X-Men like superpowers. He can read minds, he can subtly fight like a Terminator, and he can make puppets of other people. He can jump in and out of their minds and control their bodies and this sort of thing, which comes in handy in this episode since Vadic pretty much took over the whole ship and they were all caught. So you got that going on, and of course, what's Vadic going to do? She starts threatening to execute one by one the member of the bridge crew, taunting Jack Crusher and telling him, I'm going to keep doing this until you surrender, you know. And that's your title for this episode, Surrender. We cut to Data trying to, Geordi trying to restore Data, and you have that where Lore is beating him, and they're struggling for control. Even though it's, after a while, it becomes obvious how Data's going to outfox him. And he does. And, you know, that's kind of a callback to that old narrative and everything. And that's part of the elements that I think wows a lot of people, is to see the beloved crew one more time and to have their back and forth. So that's one of those elements. The other story is, well, what became of Riker? Well, of course, he was captured and he's locked up with Troy, and they have their talk about what they broke up over, the depression over the loss of their son and everything. And boy, it really confirms that Troy is not that great. She manipulated his mind to try to ease his depression, but at the same time, he's like, I had to go through that, you know. Anyway, they reconcile and all that. But at the time, I kind of wondered, is it really Troy? Was this changeling using this to interrogate him or what have you? But no, it was just her. And said, oh man, how are they going to get out of this? Well, Worf just shows up and kills the guard, and they get out. It's just, just put Worf in charge. He'll solve everything. So anyway, they get back to the ship, and they, something's wrong, and because they didn't realize it had been taken over, but now they do. And apparently, they stole 2 cloaking devices because the shuttlecraft can cloak as well. So that's convenient. And they have to get back, but first, Data had to regain control of himself, and once he did, he was able to take control of the computer systems and give back control of the ship to Picard. And they locked down. Vadic had put all the bridge crew away, and it was down to just Seven and Jack. and then Jack outfoxed her, making her think that he had a grenade, but it was actually a device to put him and Seven in a protective bubble. And then Data opened the view screen, so it opens the bridge to outer space, and that's it for Vatic. And it has a pretty good scene as she's like, ah, damn, it beat, and she smashes into her own ship and into ice particles. I suppose if you collected all that, she could still reconstitute herself, so perhaps maybe that'll happen, I don't know. But then Captain Shaw tells Seven to go ahead and blast Vatic's ship away and destroys it, so the odds that Vatic could survive this, well, not anytime soon anyway. So there they go, and of course it ends on Counselor Troy having to explore this darkness that dwells within Jack, and that's where they leave it. So I don't know, do they actually have Picard's old body? I don't know if they blew that up in the ship because it was in Vatic's ship, but maybe they brought it over with them in the shuttle. So I don't know where that's going. I had heard that they do not retcon what they did with Picard being an android, and I thought, well, here's an opportunity. Turns out he wasn't really dead and all this sort of thing, and they could put his mind back in his old body. So I don't know, but that's about it. The stupid things, I mean, Raffi helps retake the ship, and she does some typical fighting that you would see in a CW show. And it's the thing about, since they revealed that all the other Vatic's crew were all changelings as well, which I thought was a bad idea. I thought they should have just, because they stay in these masks and everything, and I would just say that this is some mercenary alien group that they hired for muscle, you know. Because with their changeling abilities, it seems like they wouldn't suffer the same physical harm as a solid opponent would, but that's how they do it. And she uses knives and blades against them, which I wouldn't think would work all that great. And then Worf just shows up and phasers them all. So that's probably what you should have done in the first place. Yeah, things like that. That's kind of stupid. But overall, it's not as bad as the last one, so it's a little better, but not by much. But the main thing is, yeah, they, seeing the crew get back together and all that, that's nice, but that's not nearly really enough. Stretching out the mystery and all that sort of thing, it's still a secret hideout project, so what do you expect? And what's behind the red door? Oh boy, that's the big reveal. So it's 10 episodes. It looks to me like they didn't really have enough story material for 10 episodes. Maybe 6. And but I guess I figured 10 is a more impressive number or some such. I don't know. So that's about it. So here we are. This was episode 8, and but for a few cool scenes here and there, and of course the member berries and all that stuff that tickles one's nostalgia. And then, yeah, like I said, the 4th episode was really good. Just still had problems in it, mistakes, and then of course some powerful scenes back and forth between certain characters, but still I'm not seeing why it got all this praise now, other than it's better than what yeah, I know, but yeah, you would need a lot more than that. So I don't know what their numbers were as their decision to continue on with shows that sound like, especially that Starfleet Academy thing sounds absolutely awful. And pushing for a continuation of this version with a Star Trek Legacy. No announcement on that as of yet. So if this was what won everybody over, and you're not going to get it, it looks like. You know? So, yeah. I don't know what else to say. 2 more episodes. We'll see what those do and how they wrap it up. But that still not seeing it. Sorry.